Would you pretend to be someone's wife if it meant giving a dying mother peace? What started as a desperate lie became one of the most beautiful love stories ever told. In the heart of San Francisco, a man's final promise to his dying mother led him to a stranger who would change his life forever. When Michael begged Sophie to pretend to be his wife for one night, neither of them knew that a single act of kindness would become the beginning of a real love story. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more true cinematic stories that remind us love always finds a way. It was a rainy evening in San Francisco. The hospital lights flickered softly through the glass as Michael Reed, male 34, sat outside room 302, his hands trembling. His mother was fading, stage 4 cancer, and her last wish was simple, to see her son happy, married, and settled. But Michael wasn't married, not even close. As the nurse told him she might not make it through the night, he panicked, desperate to grant her peace before she passed. That's when fate intervened. Outside the hospital cafeteria, he saw Sophie Turner, female 28, a young woman wiping tables after her shift. She looked exhausted, her uniform worn, her eyes kind but tired. She worked 2 jobs to pay off her late father's medical debts. Michael approached her nervously. "Excuse me," he said, voice breaking. "I know this sounds insane, but could you pretend to be my wife? Just for one night. My mom, she's dying, and her last wish is to meet her daughter-in-law." Sophie froze. "You're serious?" He nodded, tears forming. "I'll pay you. Just, please. It would mean everything." After a long pause, she whispered, "You don't have to pay me. I'll do it." An hour later, Sophie walked into room 302, dressed in a borrowed coat and a gentle smile. Michael's mother, frail and pale, looked up with teary eyes. "So you're the one he's been talking about?" she said softly, reaching for Sophie's hand. Sophie smiled through her nerves. "Yes, ma'am. It's me." For the next hour, they laughed, talked, and even prayed together. Michael watched, overwhelmed. Sophie wasn't just pretending. She was giving his mother a moment of peace. Before falling asleep, his mother whispered, "Promise me you'll take care of her, Michael." "She's your heart now," he choked up. "I promise." When his mother passed later that night, Sophie stayed by his side, holding his hand in silence. What started as a lie began to feel painfully real. Weeks passed. Michael couldn't forget Sophie. Every time he saw her name on the hospital visitor log, his heart raced. She kept checking in, not for money, not for guilt, but to make sure he was okay. One afternoon, Michael visited the cafe where she worked. "You never let me thank you," he said gently. "You already did," she replied, smiling faintly. "Your mom's peace was all I wanted." He noticed her hands shaking slightly as she served customers. "Sophie, you look tired. Are you okay?" She hesitated. "I've been working extra hours. Rent's due and my car broke down." Without a word, Michael handed her an envelope. "This isn't charity. It's gratitude. You helped me heal. Let me help you too." She tried to refuse, but the sincerity in his eyes stopped her. Months later, Michael invited her to a community charity gala. "As my date," he said with a playful grin. Sophie blushed. "A fake date or a real one?" He smiled. "Let's start with real." Over time, what began as an act of kindness grew into something deeper. They became inseparable, 2 souls bound by a single night that changed everything. A year later, standing at the same hospital where they first met, Michael held Sophie's hand and said, "You once pretended to be my wife. How about making it real this time?" Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, "Yes." As they exchanged vows under the same sky that once witnessed his grief, even the nurses who remembered their story cried. Sometimes, the most beautiful love stories don't start with destiny. They start with a desperate act of compassion.